Coming to paperback and e-readers this April, Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess. The goddess next door must take on the threat of a deadly digital diva driven to destroy the world in this action-packed all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess in paperback and e-readers this April. A couple of days ago, Kirk Franklin, the son of gospel singer Kirk Franklin, decided to share a phone call where he was arguing with his father over the direction of his life with the public. And in this phone call, gospel singer Kirk Franklin used profanity to admonish his son and even made some threats to get this boy to start acting right. Now, your Kirk Franklin wanted to go out here and embarrass his father by sharing this phone call with the public. And he also wanted to, in addition to embarrassing his father and tarnishing his reputation, he wanted to try to win whatever argument he was having with his father by going out here and trying to bring the public in to make himself out to be a victim and then use the public to shame his father into conceding his position. And when a male goes out here and uses tactics like trying to air an argument that he's having with another man with the public, and then going out here and then trying to make himself out to be a victim and shaming others, it just shows that this male is extremely weak, and it also shows that this male really has no legs to stand on as related to his argument. Moreover, it shows you that this male does not understand what it means to be a man, and it also shows us that this male does not respect his father, and he does not appreciate anything his father has done for him. Now, when I look at your Kirk Franklin, he has participated in the ultimate act of disrespect towards his father by recording this phone call that his father was having with him. Because to record that phone call and then allege abuse, that just shows how weak of a male he is. Because a 32-year-old man should have the male life skills to know how to navigate a situation where he's in a conflict with his father, and understand that while your father is admonishing you, you are to show that man respect. Now, when my father was alive, I tried to make every effort to show him respect, even if I had a disagreement with him. And I always wanted to show him respect because I understood that he was the head of the household and I needed to regard his position of authority. But your Kirk Franklin never wanted to show his father the same respect I wanted to show my father. No, what this man wanted to do was he wanted to try to disrespect his father in the most disrespectful way you could do, trying to make yourself out to be a victim of so-called abuse when you're practically living extremely well. Now, your Kirk Franklin is one of these guys who has lived very well for years. His father has sent him to the very best schools, gotten him the very best education, and it seems like he just can't get his life in order. And when I heard that phone call between Kirk Franklin and his father Kirk, what was happening was Kirk was trying to get this boy to get himself right, but this boy just did not want to listen to any of the advice his father was giving him, and he seemed to be extremely ungrateful, and that showed by his actions as by going out here and trying to make himself out to be a victim. I don't see anything wrong that Kirk Franklin did in that phone call. All I saw was a frustrated father admonishing a 32-year-old man who should have gotten things together by this point and was trying to exercise some tough love in an effort to try to get this boy to get himself together. If anything, when I looked at that discussion between your Kirian Franklin, it took me back to about 2007, 2011 or so, when I was out here looking for work, and my father was continuing to talk to me about trying to get jobs and trying to help me get myself together. And it also reminded me of the period after I lost my job at City College of New York, and my father kept trying to help me try to find a way towards getting another job. And I wanted to go out here and get that job because I wanted to show respect from my father. I wanted to go out here and find another job because I wanted to show my father respect, and I wanted him to see me out here working. That was something I wanted to do before he passed away, but sadly I never got a chance to do that. But when I looked at Kirian Franklin and I looked at the way he was treating his father, it just took me back to my experience, and it makes me mad because this boy does not really appreciate everything his father has done for him. I mean, this boy had everything going for him, but he just doesn't appreciate it. And for him to go out here and show his father this extreme disrespect, this just makes my blood boil, because here is a father showing this boy love, and this boy doesn't appreciate that love. No, all he does is sit there and try and just act like a complete coward in this situation. And that's just one of the things that really irritates me about this boy, is he doesn't understand what his father is trying to do for him. His father is trying to get him to understand that he's got to make his own way in this world, and he can't continue to hold on to him like a crutch. He's got to go out here and start standing on his own 2 feet, because if he doesn't stand on his own 2 feet, eventually he's going to fall in the gutter. And that's what the father is trying to get this boy to understand, from what I heard in the phone call. But this boy, he's just still out here thinking he's got all the time in the world. But as a guy who's been in a similar situation, I can tell you, Kirian Franklin, you ain't got that much time out here. And each day that you sit up here taking life for granted is one more day that one more day where you're gonna be out here struggling sooner rather than later. And if you don't sit here and appreciate anything that your father's trying to do for you, you're not gonna have any sort of opportunity to get your life in order, because 32 can turn into 40 in like that, and you don't have anything together by then. You're going to be in a really bad situation. And this is where your Kirk Franklin is trying to get this boy to understand where he is, but this boy ain't listening, because he's got his head in the clouds, he's got his head in the stars, and he's not seeing the reality of the situation. But the father can see the reality of the situation. And some people would say, oh, he's got issues with his mother and stuff like that. But no, this is a boy who just doesn't want to, get himself together. He doesn't think that he has to get himself together, because he's got these high apple pie in the sky dreams, and the father is trying to get him to see reality before he realizes he runs out of road, runs out of money, runs out of opportunities, runs out of time, and doesn't understand where the end game is for him. This boy has had it too good for too long, and he doesn't appreciate what his father has done for him in the past, and he doesn't want to go out here and build on what his father has established for him. He's thinking he can go out here and do things his way, but you can't go out here and do things your way. You have to go out here and, again, need the help of others. And the way you go out here is you have to show respect for your father, because if you don't show respect for your father, then you're not going to show respect for any other man out here, and that's going to keep you from growing. So when I look at this Kirian Franklin, I see a very spoiled boy. I see a boy with a sense of entitlement. I see a boy who really does not understand what it means to be a man, and he doesn't understand what it means to be a man because he probably had a too close relationship with his mother. And because he had a too close relationship with his mother, he doesn't understand that when you get older as a man, you have to go out here and start making your own way. And when you don't have much time to do that. I mean, once you get out of school, you need to really start making those steps and start building that momentum, because by the time you reach 32, 33, you've lost a good 12 years. And I can tell you from personal experience, from having personal setbacks, that time can go like that, and you're running out of road, and you're running out of time, and you're running out of opportunities. And sooner or later, people are going to eventually get tired of you sitting here doing nothing, and eventually people are going to cut you off. And maybe that's the thing that your Kirk Franklin needs to experience, is his father cutting him off, because he doesn't appreciate anything that his father has done for him. He does not appreciate anything his father has provided for him. He doesn't appreciate any of the things that his father has given him over the years. He's taken his life for granted. He's coasting through life, and he's not really trying to do anything. He thinks that he can just go out here and, again, coast through life and do whatever he pleases, but he doesn't understand that time is running out for you, dude. I mean, you don't have that much time as you think, because I've been where this dude is at 32, 33, 34, and I can tell you that if you don't get yourself together, you're not going to have much time left, and you're not going to be able to achieve anything in that time, because you're thinking you've got the whole world in front of you like a 22, 23-year-old, but eventually you're going to reach a point where people are not going to look at you as somebody that they take seriously anymore. They're going to get tired of your whining. They're going to get tired of your complaining, and they're going to just cut you off and leave you to fall. And that's what's going to happen to your Kirk Franklin, because he doesn't understand how much little precious time he has, and he needs to get it together. Now, some people would say, again, that this boy is trying to measure up to his father, or trying to do something different so he can show that he's different from his father. But to show disrespect to your father like this just shows me, again, he's spoiled and entitled. He thinks that he's got all of forever, but he doesn't have all of forever. And I believe that Kirk Franklin, in this case, he should not have apologized, because what he was doing was showing that boy the tough love that he needed. And I believe he needs to even get tougher and cut this boy off and let him flounder on his own and let him experience that real world, because he's been sheltered and coddled for too long. And because he's been sheltered and coddled for so long, he doesn't appreciate any of the things his father has provided for him over the years. He has not appreciated any of the things his father has tried to impart on him. He does not appreciate any of the things that his father has shared with him over the years. He has not used any of the tools in front of him to build himself up, move himself forward, or take any steps to advance himself. No, this boy just wants to sit here and think, oh, somebody's going to give you something like dad and mom did. But no, in the real world, nobody is going to give you anything. You've got to go out there and go work for it. And this boy has never really worked for anything, fought for anything, and it shows in the way this boy disrespected his father and participated in one of what I call the biggest bitch moves I've ever seen, by going out here and then looking for the public to shame this father who was doing what a man does when he sees his son falling apart and sees his son falling out of line. What a father does is he's going to get stern with that boy, because he wants that boy to understand that things are going to get a lot harder for you if you don't get yourself together. Because if you don't get yourself together, you're not going to be able to survive out here, and you're going to be in the street sooner rather than later. And that's why Kirk Franklin was getting so hard on his son, because he saw the end game headed for his son of homelessness and poverty, because he's thinking he can coast through life. He's thinking he's got all this time. But again, as somebody who's been where this guy has been before, I know this guy doesn't have the time that he thinks he has. And you got to start out getting out here and grinding like I am right now when I'm working on these videos or I'm working on my books. You have to get out here and grind, because the only person who's going to get you moving is you, and the only person who can take care of you is you. And that's a lesson that Kirk Franklin has not learned, because it seems like, again, he's been coddled and sheltered. He has not learned that you got to get out here and get stuff together, because you can't sit here and wait for somebody else. You're going to have to go out here and get it done, because you're the only one who can get it done. Because he's learned, again, as I see it, like I talk about in the Man Crisis, these feminine life skills, and he's living like a female. He's acting like a female, and the way he disrespected his father is the same way a female would do things. And when you have a disrespectful male like this, the only way to deal with that type of male is to cut that male off of resources and let him hit the ground and let him hit it hard. It's like the old Southerners used to say, you need to let that boy bump, because he thinks he knows everything, and then he's going to learn a hard lesson, because as he bumps, he's going to learn the hard way. And again, at 32 years old, this boy is going to learn a lot of hard lessons, and those lessons are going to be a major kick in his backside, because this boy, again, ungrateful, unappreciative, disrespectful. When I heard what he had said in that call, I mean, if I did that to my father, I would not hear the end of it from my mother, and I would get punished for even saying that type of thing, and reprimanded for saying that type of thing, and made to apologize to my father for showing him that type of disrespect. That's the way it would happen in my household, and that's the way it should have happened in Kirk Franklin's household, because he has nothing to apologize as related to his son. His son was completely out of order. His son was completely out of line, and his son showed him the ultimate form of disrespect, trying to embarrass his father on a public stage and the world. And when a boy does something like that, that's something that really needs to be dealt with in-house, because that's something that shows that this boy really has no respect for you. Because a boy who has respect for his father, that boy is going to say, okay, I'm having this issue with my father. What I'm going to do is show him his respect. I may not agree with what he says, but I'm going to respect his position as head of this family and the person who provided and cared for me over the years. I'm going to show this man his respect by quietly walking away, and I'm going to show that man his respect by keeping this between me and him. That's what a man does when he has an issue with his father. He does not go out here looking to make himself a victim. No, he says that, okay, this is between me and this man, and it's going to stay between me and this man. And if this man is, again, admonishing me, he's doing it for my own good, and he's not doing it because he's being mean. He's doing it because he cares, and he wants to see you be your best. And it doesn't seem like your Kirk Franklin wants to be the best. He wants to be a brat, and he wants to be up under his mother's arms. And he doesn't understand that that's not the way it works for a man out here. A man works differently than it does for a woman, and he's got to go out here and learn how to work in that world. And his father's trying to get him right, and everybody's trying to make it look like, oh, he's the victim. No, he's a disrespectful, spoiled, rotten brat, and he's a spoiled, rotten 32-year-old brat who knows nothing about manhood, knows nothing about masculinity, and knows nothing about going out here and doing what the work that a man does. And again, for him to embarrass his father like that, that is just reprehensible and egregious. And with that type of behavior, I just look at it and it makes me shake my head, because your Kirk Franklin doesn't understand that he doesn't have that much time in this world, and he has even less time to appreciate the father that's in his life. I mean, it's only a matter of time before if he does pass away one day, he's going to look back at this moment in his life and he's going to have some serious regret about the way he treated his father. Now, if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to pick up some of my positive African American fiction, like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, the John Haynes series, and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy, you can find all of those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format, Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Coming to paperback and e-readers in 2021, John Haynes, Taking Care of Business. The man who rules the world breaks on a brand new partner to help him take care of business in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get John Haynes, Taking Care of Business in 2021 at online booksellers everywhere.